foundation, from the beginning of this church. I've been an elder. But he deceived me. So even though he was elder for 40 years, his heart was not like Jesus. So it is focusing this passage is heart. Your heart is like Jesus or still worldly? Okay, question 1. Next.
Question 1. What must I do to inherit eternal life? What question did a lawyer ask Jesus on verse 25? He said, on one occasion, an expert in the law stood up to test Jesus. Teacher, he asked, what must I do to inherit eternal life?
Okay, and then next, Tanya.
Why did he ask this question?
What did the verse 25 say?
The lawyer stood up and put claim to the test. And teacher, what should I do to inherit eternal life?
In order to test Jesus. He didn't ask this to learn, but to test Jesus. Jesus was uneducated teacher from Galilee, so he was curious to see what kind of answer Jesus would bring. Okay. Next, Joan.
What did he, as an expert in the law, believe as the way of inheriting eternal life? Following the Torah?
Right, exactly. Following the Torah, and that is 5 first book of the Bible, and Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Obeying all the commandments, and then other commandments, derived from those commandments. And over how many? Over, I used to know, 500 or 600 commandments. And you break one, you break all. So you have to keep all of them. So they were all the time discussing, defining the meaning of each commandment. Okay. Question 3.
What did he, as an expert in the law?
Oh, we just did it. And then we go question 3.
To this and you will live.
Yeah. Question.
What did Jesus ask him? He said to him, what is written in the law? What do you read?
Jesus didn't answer him, but Jesus returned the question to him. What you ask me, you answer it. So, what's written in the law? I mean, lawyer here, lawyer, and the NIV is an expert of the law. Lawyer is not our, present lawyers in the court presenting cases. This was an expert in the law. So, they study the Torah all their life. And then he is in the top. He's a top scholar. He's been studying all his life. So, Jesus asked him, you are an expert in the law. So what is written? How do you read it? To inherit eternal life. Okay, Jehoiada.
What did he answer? And he 27, and he answered, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself.
Right. This is the summary of the law. And there's over 500 laws. All the laws about marriage, about social life, about military life in the war, all this, sickness, all this, priest, worship house, all this. And it goes on the top is Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. And then Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18. Love your neighbor as yourself. These two. From here, all other laws coming down. So this is the top of all the laws. So the man answered, and what is it? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your body strength. What kind of love is it?
So dedicated.
Love is something you are not happy. Your love is lukewarm. You are happy if your love is very intense, hot, boiling, right? Then you really feel happy. This is 100% devotion. I say burning love. So love your God with 100% devotion. But today in passage, neither Jesus nor the lawyer discuss about this love, because I think it is hard to define. Anyway, this combined is the law, Torah. The highest principle is love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. And Leviticus 19:18, love yourself, no, neighbor as yourself. This is love God, love neighbor. So it is shows life of love. Life of love. When you have this life of love, you're very close to eternal life. Life of love. Okay, next question.
What kind of life is it?
We did it. Burning life.
I was going to put rigid
Burning
life.
love.
What did Jesus say about his answer? 10:29. But he wanted to justify himself, so he asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?"
Before that, and
You mean
verse 28. Yeah, verse 28.
You have answered correctly, Jesus replied. Do this and you will live.
You answered correctly. So Jesus acknowledged him. oh, you are a really good lawyer. Jesus encouraged him. You're right. You are very correct. It is very not easy to come up with this answer. So Jesus acknowledged. Okay. And then what did Jesus say to him? Do this and you will live. Next question.
Not far from this man was his host. Who's my neighbor?
Not verse 28. Both
And
of
he
them.
said to him, "You
Verse 28. Both of them. Can you change that to verse 28? Both of them. Both of them. Verse 28. Why did Jesus say do this? Yeah.
He didn't do that.
Right. Because he didn't do it. He gave a correct answer, but he didn't practice it. He didn't do it. So Jesus said, you know very well, your answer is correct, but you are not doing it. So do this and you will live. So this man's problem was exposed. You knew very well in your mouth, but you don't do it. You don't practice. So Jesus said, not only teach others, speak about it, do it. When you see Gospel Matthew, chapter 23, verse 3, Jesus pointed out Pharisees' problem. They teach, but they don't practice. So Jesus said to people, listen to them, receive their teaching, but they don't, follow what they are doing because they don't obey. Okay, next question.
Which one is it?
Last one, number 3.
What should one do when his sin is exposed? Confess and repent.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, his sin was exposed. His sin was, he knows, but he doesn't do it. So, out. He should repent, right? But he didn't. Okay, let's go question 4.
And who is my neighbor? Why did he try to justify himself? Sorry. Jesus replied, a man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho.
Verse 29. See, I was so sleepy and I put all different verses.
29 to 30?
Just 29.
But he, desiring to justify himself, said to Jesus, and who is my neighbor?
Yeah,
He's denying himself, denying his sinner,
right.
trying to justify himself.
He didn't repent. Instead of accepting, his religious life was wrong. Instead of accepting it, he go on that who is my neighbor? That trying to say he loved his neighbors. So instead of repenting it, he went on. Maybe he wanted to prove And I love my neighbor because Jesus said, do it. Okay, next question.
Oh, why did he try to next one?
Yeah.
So when he asked the Jesus, who is my neighbor? Um,
Uh, no, finish the question. You finish the question.
who did he think his neighbor was?
He said, who is my neighbor? So when he asked that question, who was he thinking his neighbor was?
So, probably the physical neighbor next door.
Next door. So John is my neighbor. Next door.
We study with them together. Lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's other scholars, right?
Who?
Other scholars, other lawyers. And then, who else do you think is your neighbor? Maybe his friend also. And then maybe other Jews, other Jews. In our terms, own church member, our neighbor. Like me, now our church member, my heart is open to love them. But if not our church member, my heart closed. Because that person is not my church member. My heart closed. So these things, he was neighbors, right? Next question.
No. Okay.
Did he think?
Did he think that he loved his neighbor as himself? I think so.
Yes, I think so. Because it's in the top commandment. Top commandment. So he, I think he tried to love them. Love them. Okay, next question.
Go and do likewise. From where to where was a man traveling?
So, because the lawyer asked Jesus, who is my neighbor? Instead of answering who is, Jesus gave a parable. And so Jesus said, a man was traveling. Okay, from where to where was a man traveling?
Gentlemen to Jericho.
Yeah, there was a man who was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho. Jerusalem is, here's a map. Here is Lake Galilee and Dead Sea. Jerusalem is about here, and Jericho is about here, very close, or about here. I don't remember, but very close to the Dead Sea. This is that. But altitude-wise, Jerusalem is Dead Sea. This is Dead Sea. This is the sea level. Sea level. Jerusalem is 23,000 2,300 feet above the sea level, Jerusalem. And here, Jericho is here, near the Dead Sea. Jericho is 1,300 feet below the sea level. Below the sea level. So, when they go down from Jerusalem to Jericho, how much do you have to travel? Math teachers. When they go down, travel from this here, Jerusalem to Jericho, what's the, from here to here is 70 miles. Or what's the, how much they have to go down in altitude? 36, 3,600 feet down, right? Isn't it? Feet down, altitude. This is from here, 70 miles. So how steep it is, the way in 70 miles. You know, when you go mountain climbing, in Korea, I don't think we have this high mountain, 3,000 feet high. And then in 70 miles, you have to go. So this street is very narrow, rocky, and have a sudden turns and steep. So it is the robbers hide and then suddenly attack. So this is a road, very typical. And then they said, don't travel alone. Go in group to prevent. So a man he did not pay attention. He was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho. On the way, he was robbed. Okay. Second question. Second question. I think it's Joan.
All right. And which number is it?
Second question of A, 5.
Okay. What happened to him on the way? He got robbed and beaten by the robbers.
And then whatever money he had, they took away. And they took away his clothes. So the man was, I think, half naked, because they took his clothes. And then they beat him with the wood or stick or kicking, or maybe they don't want to leave a weakness, or anyway, and left him to die. He was half dead. And this man was dying, left in the street, dying. Okay, so he couldn't move. Question B.
From where to where was priest traveling? Now by chance a priest was going down the road, and when he saw him, he passed away on the other side.
So what does it mean, going down? Priest was going down.
Jerusalem, from Jerusalem to Jericho.
Right. Priest was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho. And then suppose the man was beaten here. He passed by. And so that means the priest he finished his temple service. And many priests, they live in Jerusalem city. Also, many lived in the city of Jericho. So, obviously, he was returning after his temple service. He was returning to his home on the way home. Next question.
What did what did the priest do when he saw the half dead man on the road? Verse 31. Now by chance a priest was going down to the road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. The priest passed by.
So street is here, and the man was lying here, dying half dead. And then priest was supposed coming here. When he saw it, when the others went like this, he went as if he didn't see that person. Okay, next question.
Did he obey Leviticus 19:18? No. What kind of part did the priest have? Careless.
He didn't want to be involved. And it's just too much. Too much. Dying person. Too much for the priest. And also, he had no compassion. And priests, they avoid to touch dead body. So if they in contact with dead body, they're unclean for 7 days. So they are even they go to the place of dead person, they become unclean. So they extremely be careful not to touch. But this man was still alive. Also, people don't want to be involved if the victim had too much trouble, too much burden. And also, in man's heart, I'm not like you. I'm a priest. I'm a holy man. I'm not like you. Or we see people in trouble, tragedy like this. You know what we say in our heart? I'm not like you. So we don't have compassion. Then we don't want to be involved because this man may bring too much trouble. Question C.
What did the man reply to when he saw the half dead man? So likewise, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side.
The same. The Levite was also Bible scholars. Their life is to study the passage and to teach others. So they are also holy men. And next question. He passed the same, just like the priest. And Joe?
Did he obey Leviticus 19:18? No.
No, he didn't obey. And next, what kind of a heart?
Hard heart.
Yeah. He just also ignore he passed as if he didn't see that person. He walked the other side and passed. Okay, question D.
Who came next? 10:43. But the Samaritan, as he journeyed, came to where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion. Samaritan.
Yeah, Samaritan came. Who is a Samaritan? Samaritan is, you know, 722 BC, North Kingdom, Israel was conquered by Assyria. So Assyrian king removed, deported Israel people, and they brought Gentiles to the land. So that in Samaria, they mixed blood. They intermarried, so they mixed blood. So half blood of Israel, half blood of Gentile. That's Samaria. Samaritans. And when Israel, southern kingdom Judah, fell by Babylon, 586 BC. And then exile returned after 70 years. They returned. 516 BC, they built the temple. When they built the temple, Samaritans tried to stop. So they interfere a lot, trying to hinder. So they had really hatred to build up each other. Israel people, these are pure blood, these people. When Israel people treated them as a Gentile, as dogs. And Samaritans say, it's not our fault that we had a mixed blood. We worship God. So they practice all the Old Testament just like the Jews. They practice everything the same, just like the Jews, except they worship in the mountain Gerizim. And then here, Jews worship God in Jerusalem temple. So they changed the Old Testament, the Bible. Everywhere in the Jerusalem, they put this one. So they were, until now, the Samaritans, they're now about few hundred, 200-300 Samaritans still remain around Jerusalem. So they hated each other. They hated each other. By the time of Jesus, the hatred was lasted over 500 years until now. So they don't see each other. They don't associate each other, even though they came from same father, same parents. Okay, next question.
Why was Samaritan in the land of Judea?
Why do you think this Jerusalem and Jericho are the land of Judea? And why do you think Samaritan was in the land of Judea?
Selling something?
Probably he was on, certain business that required him. He had to travel to Jerusalem, Jericho. And it looks like he already knew the inn owner. So it looks like it's not his first trip. He's been, going back and forth. He had some business in Jerusalem, and maybe he was returning to Samaria. We don't know. But this is unusual. Samaritan, pass in the land of Judea. Okay, next question.
How did he find out that the robbed man was still alive? From verse 33, but the Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him.
He saw him, and then he knew that man was alive. He didn't have to check the pulse and check the breathing and, shook him. No, when he saw it, the man is alive.
So he came to where he was.
Uh-huh.
So he was
Right. He approached. Next question.
What kind of heart did the Samaritan have? The compassion.
Compassion. Honor. As a human, here is another human dying. If the Samaritan traveled that route frequently, he may know how dangerous the traveling is, and what happened if it happened to me. It could have happened to me, and it happened to this man. He had compassion. I mean, we don't know the man who was robbed was a Jew or a Samaritan or a Gentile. We don't know because Jesus didn't mention. Samaritan, he really didn't care, but the man was half naked. It's hard to tell. But he really didn't care whether it is a Jew or my church member, or my friend. He really didn't care. There is a man dying. And so he had compassion on this stranger. Okay, next question.
What did he do to save the man's life? He went to him, and he bandaged his wounds, and he poured oil and wine on the wounds. Then he put the man on his donkey and took him to an inn. He took care of him.
He did everything. Bleeding spot, he used his clothes as a bandage. He poured wine, and wine has some alcohol, maybe 10% alcohol. It is, used as a disinfectant. And then oil is soothing the wound, the pain. And he put him on a donkey, so he walked because he put the man on the donkey. So he walked. And then this very steep, dangerous road, he went down and took him to the inn. There he spent one day to take care of this man. But when he left, what did he do? Verse 35. He gave 2 denarii to the inn owner, and then to take care of him. And if there is any more money, then when I come back, I will reimburse. They said 1 denarii is what?
1 day wage.
1 day wage. And at that time, 1 denarii pay 12 days stay. So 2 denarii is what? 24 days stay. They said they don't charge room, but charge for food and donkey's food. That's So he was very half dead. So recovery takes long time. So at least uh, 24 days he paid to stay there. And then if there is any more expenses they spend on him, then I will reimburse when I return. So the inn owner trusted this man. And then this man, Samaritan, did everything to ensure to recover this injured man. So helping, God said, within your ability, help. This man did. And it cost some money. This man may be on a business trip. He delayed his trip to help this man, and he spent his money. He used his clothes, his oil, his wine, his supplies. He did everything to restore this man. Okay, next question.
What question did Jesus ask the lawyer, and what did the lawyer answer? Which of these three do you think proved to be a neighbor to a man who fell among the robbers? He said, the one who showed mercy.
Yeah. Which of these three are the man's neighbor? The lawyer said he couldn't say the Samaritan. He said the one who had mercy. Okay, next question, Ephraiza.
Uh,
What was?
was Jesus' definition of neighbor? Jesus' definition of neighbor is the person who willing to help
Right,
the needy.
right, yeah. It was not family member. It was not friend. It's not co-worker or church member. It was a total stranger because another human being is dying. Help that person. That is neighbor. It's not distance, but it is the depth of compassion. Depth of compassion. Sometimes I pray for a person whom I never seen. But when I heard that story, it breaks my heart. So I keep on praying, 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 even though I never seen that person. The story is so heartbreaking. So, we don't have to be next door or among someone we know, but because someone is helpless, we have a compassion on them. That's neighbor. That's Jesus' definition. So it's different from the definition of the lawyer. So we need to change our definition of labor. Okay, next question.
What did Jesus do when he saw that you were half dead in your sins? He died on the cross.
Jesus had compassion when we are half dead. Everybody just pass, turn around, pass, ignore, and pretend not to see it. But Jesus had compassion on us. He offered his body to death. He did everything to make sure we are restored. Okay, question 6.
How must the lawyer do to inherit eternal life?
John chapter 5 verse 42. 1 John chapter 4 verse 8. 1 John chapter 4 verse 20.
Because I know you don't have God's love within you.
Right. His religious life, he had no love for God. He needed to acknowledge. I have no love for God. He had no love for neighbor. So his heart is all this argument, reason, theories, righteous reasonings. Her heart was so cool, chilly, no love. You know, Christians, so they know so many Bible passages. Her heart is so narrow. No love in the heart. So the lawyer to inherit the eternal life, he need to acknowledge that he broke the highest commandment. Deuteronomy 6:5, Leviticus 19:18. He need to realize his religious life was all no love. So all this Bible knowledge is useless because the heart had no love. I saw one pastor. I watched him one whole year. He had no compassion for one lost soul. Whole year. He was only thinking about himself. So I was surprised. Wow. No love for lost soul. But he think he's really pastor. He think he's a good Christian because he knows all these Bible passages. But how can he spend one whole year without any compassion for one lost soul? Um, when you look at 1 John chapter 4 verse 20, he said, you don't love your brother? Can you read it?
If anyone says, I love God and hates his brother, he is a liar. For he who does not love his brother whom he has seen cannot love God whom he has not seen.
Right. It says, if you don't love your brother, your neighbor, then Why you don't love your brother, your neighbor? Because you do not love God. This is serious. Because many Christians think, I love God, but I hate that person. No. If we love God, we will love our neighbor. Okay. Next question.
How do we,
The second one, number 6, the second one.
do you love your neighbor as yourself?
Neighbor.
Was it yes or no? I didn't get it. It's not. We have, when I took a seminary course, one professor said, we have no love. We have no. So we cannot love. He said, we can love when we receive love. When we receive love, then we can love others. That's really true. So we have to first receive love. We have no love, no room in our heart to love another human being. So next question.
How can we have love in our hearts? First of 10. And this is love, not that we have loved God, but that He loved us and sent His Son to be born for propitiations for our sins.
So how can we love in our heart? No food, no act of kindness. I mean, those you keep so that we think the person will feel my love. No, they want more gift. We give food so that the person may feel love, our love. No, they want more food. Then I observe, the only way in human heart how we have love, and when we know God's love, when we know I'm a sinner, my sin, and Jesus died for my sin in my place. When we know that, spring of water start in our heart, and then becomes love start welling up in our heart. God's love. That's how love is given to our heart. No other way. No other. I try to really teach, and the other person may feel my love, but you know what? It didn't work. Only that person realized how terrible sinner I am, and how God gave His Son on the cross for my sins. That opens up God's love poured in our heart. So some people say, "Oh, that person has a lot of love because the person grew up under loving parents." I don't have love because my parents didn't love me. I don't know love. No, this is all excuses. All excuses. Basically, human being, we cannot cannot love another person, but every person must find himself or herself before the cross of Jesus and find the love, Jesus' love. Then we have fountain of love. Then we can bear all kinds of difficult person. We can help them. We can serve them until they are fully restored. Okay, today Bible study is up here, and then